So that was our highlight reel from our trip down to Palm Desert to check out the Desert X art installations. They're really like spread out, so you have to like look up where you're gonna go if you're gonna go see them. I'd recommend downloading the app. I didn't realize they had an app until we started looking into it. The app's really cool. It has a map of the whole area down there, Coachella, the Coachella Valley, and like Palm Springs and all that area where all the installations are, and then everything's flagged on there. And when you click on them, it pops up a little bit of information about the exhibit, gives you all the who did it, the meaning behind it, and all that fun stuff, and it shows you a picture of it. Yeah, then it shows you the ones that were there from past years as well. So if you want to go see some of the ones that are still up from past years, a lot of them get taken down. They're only up for a short amount of time, but some of them they've kept up because they're like on the sides of buildings or in some areas that can be more permanent of a display as opposed to some of these ones that are up right now that are definitely more of just like a temporary installation and like a plot that they found and it just works for them. So and then you can decide if you want to go see that one or not, because there's definitely a couple that we kind of skipped. One was just like a billboard that was kind of off the highway, I think, that had some art on it and some custom stuff, but it was just like some art on a billboard, so it wasn't like super unique. We wanted to see more of like the constructed ones that stood out. There was one that was like really far. The farthest one south was this kind of like camper van looking thing that had like some stuff like attached to it, but it kind of just looked like I don't know, like an abandoned hippie overland van or something. I don't know. But anyways, we skipped that one. We skipped the billboard one. The only one that we wanted to see that we couldn't see was this one called the Living Pyramid. It said nothing about it in the app about times to see it, but apparently it's in like a private garden or like I don't remember exactly what it's called, but anyways, we drove around for like 20 minutes trying to find the entrance to this place, and like there's where it tells you on the map, it tells you where it is, but it doesn't tell you how to get anything. So you drive up to the first entrance, and it's like a service entrance for deliveries, and that we couldn't get in because the gate was closed. And then we drove around to the other side of it, and then there was like another like private entrance and it looked like a golf course. So we drove around a little more, and then we saw like there's like a tiny little like barely marked entrance, which is also labeled as a service entrance. But that one actually had an open road, so we drove down the road a little bit, and we came to a security gate, and the security guard came out, and he knew exactly what we were there for. He asked us if we were there for the Desert X, and that it's closed on it's closed on Monday, Tuesday, I believe, and it's open from like Wednesday to Sunday. So if you want to see the Living Pyramid, make sure you go between Wednesday and Sunday. Otherwise, you're gonna run the same problem we have, and you won't be able to see that one. Which it looked pretty cool from the pictures. I wish we could have seen it, but I mean, we were there on a Monday, so it just didn't work out. When you're clicking on the different locations, and it tells you the information, there's a button on the top right, at least on the iPhone, that'll open up directly in your Apple Maps, and then it'll give you directions to how to get to that specific installation. So they make it really easy to like find them. It's just still a bit of a scavenger hunt to kind of go, drive around, because they are scattered around like Palm Springs, Coachella Valley. There's one that's like on the way out to Joshua Tree, kind of off the highway there a little bit. But it's cool. I mean, it's different. I think it's worth going out to see it because it is a temporary installation. So they're saying that they're going to be done, and they only last for a few months. So the majority of them are going to be up for a few months, and they're going to take them down. So if you don't see them, you're just going to have to look online or see pictures or see videos like this to see it. But hopefully you can make time to go out there because they are cool to see. Some of the exhibits are kind of like outside of like the city, I guess. They're a little more like remote feeling, like what is the rock one called? The one by Jose de Villa, The Act of Being Together, which is like some unique rocks that are stacked up off the side of the road. That's kind of cool because that's out by like all the windmills, so you have that in the background. But that one's probably like the most remote feeling one where you have to drive out to, kind of like off the highway and down like a little road, and there's nothing else out there. Whereas whereas some of the other ones are like in like Palm Springs area, and then it's just there's like a plot of open plot of dirt that's behind a couple businesses and next to an apartment building, and then they just put this thing out there, and it looks cool, but like when you see like pictures of it, you're like, oh, it looks really cool, and you look around, there's like apartments behind it, and there's a building over here, and the other really cool one was like the winding one that looks like a winding like ribbon that's out in like the dirt, and when you look at the pictures, you think like, oh, like it's like way out there in the desert, like it looks really cool, and it kind of is. There's like a huge like open desert area where this thing's like installed, but at the same time, when you're looking out towards it, like yeah, it's just like desert behind it. But when you're looking the other direction, it's like you're on like a normal street. There's houses across the street. You got Palm Springs one direction, you got desert one direction. So depending on how you like look at it, it's sort of out there. It's sort of in town. So I think there was another one like in town like we skipped. I think it was more of just like a wall mural. Um, like I said, we were going out there to see the built installations and like the cool ones that were like constructed, not just like some artwork on a wall. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen enough of those, and I could see a picture online of that one and get a better understanding of it. But I wanted to see the ones in person, like the rock stack. Like you don't get a true sense of scale of those unless you're out there standing in front of them, and then it's like that's cool. And like I said, they're all pretty easy to like drive around to. There's no like you're not going like off-roading to get to any of these things, and the majority of them are like kind of like off, not too far off the road. So a lot of them will have like parking nearby or like parking like designated for the actual installations, and then it has like a little direction sign like it's back for this direction. So when you get to each of the installations and you park, there's a little like white sign, like maybe like this big. That has the artist and the name of the installation, and then you'll see a desert like a sideways X underneath it also, and that's like the Desert X logo. But you'll see these signs out on every single one of these. So even like there's the one that's at the base of the mountain, which is like some really cool like different stacked stones and this kind of like covered feature. That one you can't really see from the parking lot when you park. So when you park, you'll see the white sign, so you know it's like kind of like go that direction because the sign's over here. And then once you walk up like I don't know, like a few feet or 20 feet or something, then you can kind of see it in the distance and you know where you're going. But yeah, as long as you look for like the white signs with the Desert X logo, like you'll be at the exhibit. And the majority of them, when you pull up, you can see the exhibit anyways. There was just like one or two that like you couldn't see from the parking lot, so you had to like read the sign. It would tell you like where to go and whatnot. They also had signs up next to them that just said "Respect the Desert," just because they don't want people like going off path or like littering and just like being disrespectful, and obviously just not like stepping over the plants and stuff, like just common sense. But they just I always have to say that because people do that. So and also on the signs, when you read the signs, some of them will say like underneath, it'll say like, please do not touch anything on the display, like the materials are fragile, we don't want anything damaged. And some of the other ones will say, feel free to like touch or interact with these ones, because some of them are more interactive, like the winding ribbon one has these like reflective like kind of mirrors that you can reflect on the wall. So that one's kind of like inviting you to come over and like take this thing and kind of tilt it up and see the message. And I guess I was reading that you can like when the sun hits at a certain time, it'll like go on the wall, which makes sense because it's a mirror. But it was definitely inviting you to be interactive with it and go out there and actually like spin these things and like kind of tilt them. And so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's not like an all day thing. I mean, you can take as long as you want. You can if you want to hit every single one and you want to spend time in each one and read about it and sit around and like enjoy it, like you can do that. It can be a full day experience. We kind of picked out the ones like we wanted to see, and we drove out to each one, got some pictures, read about it, like walked around a little bit, didn't spend like a ton of time at each one. So like I said, we were out there on like a Monday, and this is the day we're heading back from Pioneertown. So we just stopped to see things kind of quick. We had like the ones we wanted to see on the map. So we just kind of like went just one after the other, just trying to be efficient with our time, see as much as we could. And, like some of them we spent more time at than others if we were more interested in the actual display. But I mean, if you wanted to hit all of them, you could definitely do it in a day. It wouldn't take you like a full day out there. And depending where you're coming from, I mean, it was a 2-hour drive for us, so it wasn't terrible. If you're driving further, you might want to, take more time to see them all. Maybe stay the night on Palm Springs and check out a few other things while you're out there. Highly recommend the Palm Springs aerial tramway, which I will be making a video about that next probably, so keep an eye out for it. It's starting to get warm out there for sure. It was about 85 when we were out there and kind of windy, so again, you're in the desert. I mean, if you're not used to it, just be prepared. It's going to be hot. It's going to be windy most likely because that whole area, that's why there's so many windmills everywhere. It's just known and notorious for being windy. So if you're interested in going out to see the Desert X, I mean, hopefully this video gives you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like and what to expect. I think it's really just like a perfect little day trip, honestly. Just go out there and see it and, maybe hang out a bit and drive back at night. If you're in the SoCal area. If you're not in the SoCal area, then obviously you got to plan more. And then download the app ahead of time. It's kind of, I feel like I had good service out there, but you never know depending on what you have, like it could be spotty. So download the app ahead of time, like preview the map, see like where everything's at. So you can kind of like plan out where you want to go. And I think you'll have a better experience because you'll just be able to just hit all the spots and kind of like we did basically we were driving from Joshua Tree and Pioneertown. So we were coming from the north. So we hit the first one that was off the highway that was kind of farthest out there first. And then we kind of like just drove east, hit all the ones along the way. And then we drove to the farthest one south that we wanted to see. And then kind of made our way back up kind of northwest along the highway to Palm Springs and hit the rest of them. So we would basically be right at the edge of Palm Springs when we finished. And then we could just straight drive home and just cut some time off. So that was kind of our plan and kind of what we did, and it worked for us. But yeah, a little planning ahead never hurts. So hope you guys get out there and enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Tycho, that's the reason we were out in the first place. Pioneertown's a trippy little place. A lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but cool little town to see a concert for sure. It was definitely a unique concert experience. So Tycho, see you guys. I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes trying to film this because there's an Amazon truck outside and the dogs are just going ballistic. Aren't you? Thanks.